Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, the editor-in-chief of Total Retail, and I'm excited to be joined on this episode by Kevin Moffitt, the president of Office Depot. And Kevin and I are going to be talking about some exciting news from Office Depot, the launch of their new brand platform, Imagine Success, and talk a little bit about what that means for Office Depot's customers and, overall what it will mean for the business. So thanks for joining me today, Kevin.
Absolutely. And thanks for having me on again, Joe. It's great to hang out.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So I mentioned Office Depot recently announced the launch of its new brand platform, which it's calling Imagine Success. Go ahead and tell our audience a little bit about this initiative and, what you hope to accomplish at Office Depot with it.
Well, whenever there's new news, it's always exciting to be able to share that with the world. But in this case, this is a really special moment for Office Depot. We've been around for over 30 years, and we did a lot of research, both internal with our team members as well as with our customers. And we asked our team members, what is their vision for our company going forward? And, how did they see us being successful as a company? And then we talked to our customers and we asked them some similar questions about, how did they define what does good look like? How do they define success? What kind of goals are they trying to accomplish in their lives? And obviously, in particular, when they're shopping with us, what are they hoping to accomplish? And it was really interesting because what we put out really came back to us. And this idea of what does success look like, and this individualized definition of success and achievement and, just overall positivity and contributing to the community that both our team members and our customers are part of, that really resonated so strongly from this work. And certainly the word success, I think, especially where we are right now, having so many challenges that we have all faced together over the last several years, and coming through the pandemic and economic challenges and business challenges and just individual and personal challenges, certainly challenges with education as well. I think we're in a really unique place, and people they're looking for something to focus their energy for the future and to be able to envision something that they can be a part of and that they can help to bring to life. And so this idea of really imagining success, envisioning your goals, envisioning how you can contribute to a better world, and how Office Depot can help enable that, can help be part of that story, can help support your successes as an individual, I think is a very powerful message for us.
Yeah, and one of the things that struck me in your answer there, Kevin, is kind of the role that your employees and also your customers, the feedback you've collected from those two segments, how it's helped to kind of shape this brand platform. And it wasn't just something coming from the top down, coming from the executive level down. It really was a collaborative effort, right?
Exactly. And, we surveyed a large number of team members, and one of the specific responses I remember reading was, our business is your success. And, even that individual said, if you use that, you're going to have to give me something in return for creating that. And, I thought, again, it reinforced this powerful notion of that we are partners in helping you achieve your success. And it's not something that's just made up or tacked on. I mean, it's something that's very core to who we are and what we've done for decades. If you go into any of our stores on any given day and you just, I have to be cautious in recommending eavesdropping, but if you listen to the conversations that actually happen in our stores between our team members and our customers, it really is a partnership. And I have had countless examples of customers who have spoken to me about relationships they've developed with our team members, a lot of them in our copy and print area, where they see our associates as extensions of their marketing team. Sometimes they see our associates as their marketing team, not just extensions, but actually the marketing team itself. just in terms of the work that we do, not just, creating a black and white copy, but working with them on their strategies for marketing, creating brochures and business cards, talking about how they connect with customers. I mean, all of those things are really interesting ways that we bring these partnerships and this idea of partners in your success to life.
Yeah, and that authenticity is brought to the forefront, which you talked about. Tell us a little bit about the Imagine Success platform and its target audience. Who are the people that you're bringing this message to, and what's the strategy for engaging those type of customers and getting them excited to be a part of the brand platform Imagine Success?
Yeah, I think, we've had a long heritage of really focusing in on our business customers and our small businesses, particularly in the Office Depot segment of our business. Our small businesses are really the heart and soul of our organization. Our previous taglines have included the tagline of taking care of business. And I think that really resonated and was central to that mission of taking care of businesses of all sizes. But, when we really look at who our customers are and how they rely on us to provide solutions to their problems, that customer set far exceeds small business owners, right? We've actually defined 3 core segments for our business, small business being one, home office, obviously a very important segment for us, tremendous growth over the last several years. But we see both remote and hybrid work styles being critically important for many, many people over the long term. And so serving their needs in a really clear way is another powerful segment for us. And then finally, education. We have a tremendous business connected to local schools for teachers, parents, and students. And what's really interesting about Imagine Success as a platform is that each of those groups of customers define success differently. And the ways that we can partner with them to help them achieve their goals are also very different. But the Imagine Success platform gives us that flexibility to really connect with those different customer groups in different ways.
Yeah, and I'm an example of one of those customer groups. I certainly fall into the home office, having transitioned to working remotely and recording this episode from my home. So certainly can relate to that home office customer that you talked about.
Well, Joe, I have to say, I hope from your vantage point in your chair, looking around your home office, I hope there's at least one product that you purchase from Office Depot at some point. Clearly there are millions of customers who have relied on us over the last few years as a lot of people are just learning how to work remotely for the first time. And, we've seen a tremendous demand for not just the products, but also the expertise around how to use those products, how to connect them together. I mean, a lot of people now are their own IT teams, right? And supporting not only their own technology needs, but maybe their spouse, maybe their children. So just a lot has changed since 2019. And, we've really seen how we can play a big role in helping people stay effective, stay organized, stay productive, even as the world has changed dramatically.
Actually, that's a really nice segue into what I wanted to talk about next. Is, as you think about, and you mentioned, it's more than just product that's being sold at Office Depot. You're thinking about solutions for working smarter, more effectively, particularly as we've seen the jump in remote work. To that point of being a resource, talk a little bit about how content factors into what you're doing, and specifically in relation to this new Imagine Success platform. Tell us a little bit about the role of content there.
Well, I think that people's habits regarding how they gather information and how they make decisions based on that information have changed so much over the last few years. Social media obviously has been important for quite a long time, but we've seen tremendous growth in the amount of engagement that customers have with social media. The forms have changed as well. I mean, short form video really didn't exist 5 years ago, not to the same degree that it does today anyway, not to the same role that it plays in people's lives. So just content is become ubiquitous. It's everywhere. And it's actually, in some ways it's difficult to escape. And it's actually, it can become harder actually to make decisions when you're so overwhelmed with information. And so, having some sources of real expertise, professional expertise and guidance is an area that I think is dramatically underrated for a lot of our customers. And we hear from our customers all the time. Obviously, we have many forms of customer service, customer feedback through our surveys. We're very, very proud of our very high NPS scores. But one of the things our customers tell us over and over again, and the area that we receive the highest ratings in, is the helpfulness, friendliness, and knowledgeable associates that we have in our stores. And it's a source of tremendous pride for us in a retail environment where most people now receive essentially zero human-to-human service in most of their in-store interactions. You can still count on having a great experience face-to-face with another person when you walk into one of our stores.
Yeah.
And, that source of content and expertise, when paired with the great availability that we have for information through our website and connecting the dots between the two using our mobile devices in stores that all of our associates carry with them at all times. The combination of that omni-channel content and expertise, I think, is really unique and something that retailers who are going to be successful going forward really need to find those areas where they can add true value, not just in the products that they offer, not just how they stock the shelves or how they price those products, but also in the value that they can wrap around the experience of purchasing and owning those products as well.
Yeah, and it can be a real differentiator. To your point, consumers are buying a lot of times now on the experiences they're getting. It's product quality and price are always going to matter, but it's, the experience as well. And that comes down to the purchase decision a lot of times. So differentiating through that experience that they're getting, whether it's in an Office Depot store or some other medium that they're engaging the brand with, can make a real difference. And actually leads into what I wanted to ask you next, Kevin, in terms of, you talked about kind of that content and that consultative approach that you've introduced, and then factoring in products. So tell us a little bit about how those two can work together, and that, Office Depot can incorporate its products into its content, into this Imagine Success platform to provide sort of a one-stop shop. You get your information you need, but you also are getting high quality product that can help solve some of your, needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you can go through each one of the customer segments and talk about how total solutions are so important. One of the advantages we have is we combine products and services very seamlessly, right? Our business services center, as I said, it's an extension of a lot of businesses' marketing teams and marketing efforts. But we also offer security services. We offer shredding. We offer shipping. We offer technology services. You can get your PC repaired in our stores. There's a whole suite of services that complement the products that we sell and really help to build out that robust ownership experience that's so important to maximizing the value. In many cases, not just the price you pay for the product up front, but it's also what are you doing with it? What kind of support do you receive in owning those products as well? And those are areas that we can really differentiate from, particularly just commoditized based e-commerce only players where, that omni-channel experience, connecting the dots with services, which are very difficult for .com only players to provide, and then tying it all together with just an amazing human-based customer service capability. I think that's a key differentiator in how we bring our Imagine Success platform to life.
Yeah, and you talked about that omni-channel experience, and between your combination of product and service, you're giving customers and consumers reason to come into your physical storefronts and, getting that human experience. And then they might augment their interactions through digital channels as well, and they're becoming that omni-channel shopper that has proven so valuable to so many different retailers.
No, absolutely. I'm a huge advocate for omni-channel innovation. We're extremely proud of our industry-leading 20-minute pickup guarantee. If product's not available in 20 minutes, you automatically get a $20 coupon off your next purchase. No one else in the industry comes even close. And so that level of convenience, that's another big piece. When people define success, time is their most limited asset. And when we talk to small businesses, just convenience is so critical. And so having stores available to them that are highly convenient with a service offering for in-store pickup that really, from a timing perspective, can't be beat by anything else online. Next day delivery pales in comparison to a 20-minute pickup promise. But that the time value is important, the expertise value is important, the relationship and understanding value is important. But for us, this brand platform is really about giving us a chance to put the spotlight on our customers, help them tell their stories, help them to get visibility, and frankly, recognition for the outstanding work that they've done. I mean, starting a small business is one of the most courageous things you could do in your life. And it certainly is one of the most stressful. We all know the success rates for small businesses and, all the challenges that they face. But, even when you look at just setting up your home office, there's a lot of challenges that come with that as well in terms of being successful and transitioning to remote work or hybrid work. And certainly we've seen over the last few years, tremendous challenge in our education area, right? Whether that's parents who are had to become part-time teachers for their kids as they were working, studying remotely, and certainly our teachers as well, who have just had to deal with tremendous pressures and challenges during the pandemic, and frankly are still recovering from some of the setbacks that we've seen in the educational space. So each one of those segments really experiencing a lot of challenges. They need a lot of help. But for us to put a spotlight on them and say, they did it, despite all of those challenges, every obstacle, everything that was laid out in their path, and particularly over the last few years, they emerged stronger. They emerged more confident. They were able to achieve their goals. They have a bright view of the future that's ahead of them. That's really what we're most excited about connected to this platform, is being able to tell those stories in a very real way that are connected to the business that we are in, really central core to the business that we're in. But to be able to tell those emotionally impactful stories, I think a lot of other people will be able to draw inspiration from those stories and apply them to their own lives.
So as you think about the launch of this new platform, the Imagine Success platform, and thinking about monitoring how it's performing, and some of those ways that you're talking to your customers, I'm sure there's hardline metrics that you're also looking at on a continual basis. Tell us what you factor into looking at, is this working in the way we intended it? Perhaps it is, perhaps it's not, maybe it needs to be evolved. Talk about that in terms of kind of observing and monitoring and then improving where you need to.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is it's not a campaign, right? It's not one day we're slapping a big billboard on the side of a building and a month later we're going to take it down. This is a long-term brand platform approach that will continue to evolve over time. But we are approaching it from while some of the tactics are very innovative, the actual strategy is well founded in traditional marketing techniques around thinking about the full funnel. There are portions of this that are top of funnel that are really designed to start conversations and engage with potentially folks who have never shopped with Office Depot before, just kind of introducing ourselves and some of the things that we are capable of doing that I'm sure would be a big surprise to a lot of folks who aren't regular shoppers at Office Depot. So there's those top of funnel pieces. Then there are the middle funnel pieces, which are really around engaging at particular, we call them the moments that matter, particular seasonal opportunities that we have. Obviously, with our education customers, we have a heavy opportunity during the back to school period. With our small business customers, there's what we call back to business at the beginning of the year. And then we have small business celebrations throughout the year as well. And then home office, there are ebbs and flows, right? When you think about home office and the consumer, that represents. There are different holidays and different points of engagement throughout the year as well. And then at the bottom of the funnel, there are just those, I'm searching for, brown office chair on wheels in Google, and we want to be there to be able to highlight the solutions that we have for those bottom of the funnel, very transactional queries. These are folks, again, who may or may not be current customers, but are in the market for specific products and services that we provide. So we want to make sure we maximize our visibility there as well. So really thinking about it in terms of the entire funnel from top to bottom, and how each one of our marketing vehicles and tactics can help to amplify the message. And then we have specific ROI, KPI targets for each of them. Our biggest and most important to me, though, is just the overall health of our customer file. And, our vision of success, our own imagining of success internally is, making sure that we have a very stable and growing customer file, which is the ultimate health metric for our business going forward.
And then lastly, Kevin, with that in mind, you talked about there's obviously many layers to this initiative, and it really applies across so many different business units at Office Depot. It's a collaborative approach. Tell us a little bit about internally how getting teams to work together and to make this successful. It's a true team effort, right?
Absolutely. And, I'm a major advocate for what's called the agile model of business, which is highly cross-functional, time-based, small teams that are empowered to define their own opportunities and priorities and then execute on those plans. So we've spent the last half a year building out these teams to be able to very quickly pursue, test and learn, and then pursue execution on some of these tactics to go forward very quickly. And so, I'd love to come back sometime, Joe, and talk about the agile process and how we have implemented it at Office Depot. I think it's a really fascinating topic. Business agility in general is something that I think is top of mind for a lot of folks. How do you manage transformation and innovation at scale? And I think this is an excellent case study, actually, of applying some of that philosophy to a brand management campaign and platform. So, really, really interesting way to approach it. But to your point, this is not a marketing specific effort. This requires team members from across the organization to come together and really bring it to life in our stores, on our website, and all of our marketing collateral. And also thinking about, from a true merchandising perspective, where are the gaps in our assortment that we're not able to fully complete our customers' objectives because we don't have the products to support them. We don't have the breadth or depth of solutions there. So, it really is every part of the organization coming together to bring this to life.
Yep, and you're right, Kevin. We could go on for another half hour just about kind of the operations of this, running it. But I really do appreciate your time. This has been it's been an interesting and enlightening conversation. I do want to take the opportunity to thank Kevin Moffitt, the president of Office Depot, for joining us on this episode and telling us about this exciting new initiative from the business, the Imagine Success brand platform. So thanks, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.